What a weekend it's been, folks. The rookie minicamp came and went, but man, did it leave us with a lot to talk about. Every year, this event gives us a sneak peek at the future stars of the franchise. And while it's easy to get caught up in the hype around the drafted players, what really caught my attention this time were the undrafted free agents. Those guys who didn't hear their names called during the draft, but are now out there grinding, fighting for a shot to prove they belong. And let me tell you, this year there's a pretty intriguing group of them. Of course, when we talk about roster locks, names like Will Campbell and Kyle Williams pop up immediately. These guys are already showing the kind of consistency and talent that makes you confident they'll be on the final roster when August rolls around. But the real storyline here, the thing that keeps fans and analysts buzzing, is figuring out which undrafted free agents are going to beat the odds and carve out a spot for themselves. Because, historically, this team has had a knack for finding those hidden gems. We're talking about a franchise that, over the past 2 decades, has seen at least one undrafted player make the final 53-man roster almost every single year. Only once in that entire span did that streak break. That's not a coincidence, that's a trend. It's part of this team's identity. So, naturally, people are looking at this current group and wondering, who's gonna be that guy this year? I've got my eyes on 4 particular players who have a real shot, and don't worry, we'll get into those names soon enough. But first, a quick heads up. There's a schedule reveal coming later this week. That's right, we're finally going to see the full lineup, dates, opponents, bye weeks, all of it. It's one of those things that turns speculation into reality, so keep your notifications on because you won't want to miss that drop. But back to the undrafted crew. Among the names that have been circulating, a few stand out already. You got guys like Lan Larrison and CJ Dupree making early waves. But beyond them, there's a whole list of players trying to stake their claim. When the roster is sitting at 90 players during minicamp, and you know it's going to be trimmed down to 53, every single rep counts. These players are in survival mode. Every drill, every snap, every special teams play, it all matters. That's why I want to run through some of the more notable names quickly, even if it's just to give you a feel for the depth of competition. So here we go. Cam Riley, Brandon Crossley, Dear Blank, who, by the way, I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing correctly. Efton Chisholm, Jeremiah Webb, Ben Woodridge, CJ Dupree again, Elijah Ponda, Brock Lampy, Jordan Polk, Cole Berberto, G. Scott, Jack Conley, Jack Minkins, Wilford Penny, Hector Johnson, Dwayne Martin, Bryce Gannis. Yeah, that's a mouthful, I know. But it's important to acknowledge how many hungry players are fighting for their NFL dreams. A lot of these guys are just trying to find their footing, see where they fit, and show they belong. But with only 53 spots available, the margin for error is razor thin. Yet if history teaches us anything, it's that at least one of these players is going to break through. Look at what happened with Del Pettis last season. An undrafted defensive back who not only made a team but contributed meaningful snaps. And he's just the latest in a long line of success stories. Remember Malcolm Butler, a guy who went from being an afterthought to making one of the most iconic plays in Super Bowl history, later recognized as one of the league's top cornerbacks back in 2015. Or David Andrews, a steady presence at center whose release this offseason was a tough pill to swallow for many fans. J.C. Jackson, Jonathan Jones, both undrafted, both carved out roles, both proved the doubters wrong. This franchise has built a reputation for giving these players real opportunities and, more importantly, turning them into legitimate contributors. That's why when I talk about this year's group of undrafted free agents, I'm not just filling time. There are real stories developing here. Take Efton Chisholm III, for example. This kid is generating serious buzz among fans and coaches alike. Coming out of Eastern Washington State, he fits the exact profile this team loves at wide receiver. He's not the tallest guy, standing at 5'10" and weighing in at 93 pounds, but that hasn't stopped him from putting up ridiculous numbers. In 2024 alone, he hauled in 120 catches for over 3,300 yards. Yes, you heard that right. Over 3,000 yards in a single season. That's not just impressive, that's record-breaking. Our territory. In fact, he shattered records previously held by Cooper Kupp, another Eastern Washington product who's done pretty well for himself in the NFL, to say the least. Chisholm's game is all about quickness, agility, and an uncanny ability to find soft spots in coverage. He's the quintessential slot guy. Think Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, smaller receivers who excel in space, can take a hit and keep the chains moving. This team has always valued those traits, and Chisholm fits right into that mold. His coach raves about his spatial awareness, his ability to read defenses on the fly, and his knack for being in the right place at the right time. He might not blow you away with long speed, but when it comes to short area quickness and route precision, he's a nightmare for defenders. What makes Chisholm's situation even more interesting is the financial commitment the team made to bring him in. We're talking about a substantial guaranteed salary for an undrafted rookie, more than what some 7th-round picks received. That tells you everything you need to know about how the organization views his potential. They had to outbid other teams to sign him, which means there's real belief in his abilities. But as promising as that sounds, nothing is guaranteed. The wide receiver room is crowded, and cracking that depth chart won't be easy. Established veterans, recent draft picks, other hungry undrafted players. It's a gauntlet. Chisholm will need to continue standing out throughout training camp and preseason games to solidify his spot. Still, if there's one thing this team loves, it's finding value where others overlook it, and Chisholm could be the next chapter in that story. Switching gears to another position that deserves attention, tight end. Now, this team doesn't need to be reminded of how vital the tight end role is, especially when it comes to blocking. Over the past 13 years, the offense has consistently ranked among the top 10 in rushing attempts in 10 of those seasons. That's not by accident, it's by design. The philosophy here is clear. Establish the run, control the clock, and impose physicality. For that to work, you need tight ends who can hold their own in the trenches. That's where CJ Dupree enters the picture. He's not going to wow you with flashy catches or acrobatic touchdowns, but his blocking skills are exactly what this team looks for in a depth tight end. Dupree's physical profile gives him plenty of upside. With the right conditioning program, adding some muscle mass, he could very well become a force in the blocking game. His run blocking grade sits at 64.8, which might not jump off the page, but it's above average for a rookie trying to make his mark. Considering the current state of the tight end room, where the third spot is very much up for grabs, Dupree has a legitimate path to earning that role. It'll come down to how he performs in those gritty, unglamorous reps that don't show up on highlight reels, but make all the difference on third and short situations. Then there's the offensive line battle, which is always a critical storyline. Heading into the season, depth is key, and versatility is often the deciding factor when it comes to filling out the bottom of the roster. That's why a guy like Jack Conley deserves a serious look. Standing at 6'6" and tipping the scales at 327 pounds, Conley brings prototypical size to the table. His college tape shows a player who, while not necessarily dominant, is reliable. He allowed just 1 sack across 12 games last season, and his ability to stay healthy and available cannot be overstated. What really sets Conley apart is his positional flexibility. Over his collegiate career, he's played just about everywhere on the line. Left tackle, right guard. You name it, he's done it. That kind of versatility is pure gold when injuries inevitably strike during a grueling NFL season. While his technique still needs refinement, particularly in pass protection, his run blocking grades are solid, and he has a low penalty rate, with only 2 flags against him last year and none for holding. In a system that values physicality and discipline, Conley fits the bill. He might not crack the 53 immediately, but keeping him on the practice squad as an insurance policy makes a ton of sense. And let's not forget about the defense. One name that's been floating around with increasing frequency is Elijah Ponder. Coming out of a smaller program, Ponder brings a high motor, high effort approach to the edge rusher position. Measuring 6'2" and weighing in at 257 pounds, he racked up 14 quarterback pressures and 7 sacks in his final collegiate season. But it's his athletic profile that really stands out. His relative athletic score places him in the 97th percentile among undrafted edge rushers, with explosive shuttle run times, impressive vertical and broad jumps, and quick split, times over 20 and 10 yards. Sure, his height and weight might be seen as limitations by some scouts, but when you turn on the tape, those concerns fade away. Ponda's ability to generate pressure is precisely what this defense needs. Last season, the team finished near the bottom of the league with just 28 sacks. That's a number that has to improve, especially with a new defensive coordinator implementing a 4-3 base scheme. Ponda's experience in a similar system during college gives him a head start in adapting to the pro level, making him an intriguing option for adding much-needed depth to the edge rotation. Having 7 capable pass rushers on the roster would be ideal, and Ponda has the tools to claim one of those spots. Lastly, there's a versatile offensive weapon worth mentioning, Lan Larison. Sporting jersey number 34, Larison logged 284 carries for 1,464 yards and 17 touchdowns last season. With the depth chart likely carrying just 4 running backs, Larison's ability to contribute on special teams and his versatility as a ball carrier make him a strong candidate to stick around. All of these players represent the heart and soul of what the undrafted free agent journey is all about. Grit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of a dream. The odds might be stacked against him, but every year someone beats those odds. The question now is, who's it going to be this time? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The New England Patriots have made a bold and powerful statement this offseason, signing one of the NFL's most feared running backs, Derrick Henry. Known as King Henry for good reason, the former Tennessee Titans star brings with him a rare combination of size, speed, and punishing physicality that is set to redefine the Patriots' offensive identity. After years of searching for a consistent ground game following the departure of Tom Brady, New England may have finally found its answer in Henry. At 6'3" and over 240 pounds, Derrick Henry has terrorized defenses since entering the league. In 2016, a 2-time NFL rushing champion, he surpassed 2,000 rushing yards in 2020 and consistently ranked among the league's top backs in both yardage and touchdowns. His arrival in Foxborough signals a dramatic shift in strategy for head coach Jared Mayo and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, who now have a weapon capable of dominating the line of scrimmage and controlling the tempo of games. Henry's bruising style is expected to complement the Patriots' young offensive line and help take pressure off their uncertain quarterback situation. Whether it's Bailey Zappe, Jacoby Brissett, or a potential rookie under center, having a reliable, elite-level rusher in the backfield will open up play-action opportunities and keep defenses honest. It also fits with the cold-weather smash-mouth football that has long been part of New England's championship DNA. The move also sends a message. The Patriots are serious about returning to contention. After a lackluster 2023 season, the addition of a game-changer like Derrick Henry is not just about production. It's about attitude. His leadership experience and relentless work ethic are exactly what this young roster needs. If Henry stays healthy and the offensive line holds up, expect the Patriots to climb back into relevance, riding on the shoulders of one of the most dominant rushers of the past decade. In New England, the ground game isn't just back. It's about to explode. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.